The secrets inside.
G'day everyone, William PJ here. So this is my cartoon avatar that I made with the help of AI from CapCut. So today I'm gonna talk about one of our longtime beloved young prince from George Garza production, Bambi. Yeah, we all know that Bambi didn't have more screen time while George was focusing on My Little Pony and Thomas and Friends for his future videos. So right before I'm gonna talk about George, let's talk about the history of Disney Bambi. It all started at 1923. Bambi was created by the late Austrian library critic Felix Salten. And in 1936, 3 years before World War II has started, and a year before Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs has released, the movie itself, Bambi, has begun working in production by the late and great founder and owner of the Walt Disney Company himself, Walt Disney. After it released in 1942, it became a massive box office success, and it became Disney's fifth and classic feature film ever made. Fast forward to 6 decades later in 2006, a year after Michael Eisner stepped down as the CEO of the Walt Disney Company, Bob Iger became the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. And 5 years after Bambi appeared in the crossover TV series called Mouse of House, the company and the Disney Toon Studio has released their next Disney sequel, Bambi 2, which is the sequel to the first movie. Well, it may not be as great as the original, but still, it became the best Disney sequel ever made with the animation redesign, clever stories as a follow-up, likable characters as usual, darker moments, and beautiful song backgrounds and music backgrounds. 11 years later, we have the Bambi, Thomas and Friends, and My Little Pony fan named George Garza, who joined YouTube as a YouTuber and founded George Garza Productions. As you might heard of him in his channel, it was the most popular cartoon crossover YouTube series, with 3 recognizable cartoons such as Bambi, Thomas and Friends, and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I checked out one of his videos after I watched Rudolph X Zoe from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and after watching it, it was beautiful, gorgeous, and clever made as a fan-made series. I love Thomas and Friends and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic because they are my favorite childhood cartoons, as I already talk about them on my top 10 favorite childhood shows. I already talked about George and his channel last year on the honorable mentions on my top 6 video, the 6 best YouTubers, and I consider him as the best YouTuber who ever appeared on YouTube. But unfortunately, after George has made Bambi and Feline as a main character for the last time one of his video, he decided to focus on Thomas, his friends, Twilight, and her friends as a main focus, because as you know, his fans paid him hundreds of dollars on his Patreon to become his memberships every month and every year. I tried everything to tell George after I leave my comment to him, but he didn't leave his comment to me. But his fans did. In fact, the only thing he did, he gave my comments a like. His fans gave me a like on my comments too. And one of his fans has agreed with me when I tell George what my next original ideas for him for his next video. And I don't need to pay George to become his membership on his Patreon every month, because it costs money for me and my family. As much I respect George as a YouTuber and person in real life, but I need him to bring Bambi and his friends back to the spotlight. But he wasn't the only one who had a smaller screen time. Zuma from Paw Patrol had a smaller screen time as well in the latest seasons. Many of Paw Patrol fans has forgot about Zuma, but others who still remembered him. But at least Zuma has some big screen time like in episode Pup Save a Sea Sponge, and it's a good thing for us, And as you can see, I gave him justice by putting him on my posters for my community, alongside with Bambi and Feline. And that's why I called Pup Save a Sea Sponge is the episode that they give Zuma justice, and more screen time and more spotlight. But not for Bambi. He was not being forgotten by Disney fans or George's fans. He was just not being used each other videos. I know George has chose My Little Pony and Thomas and Friends as his most votes from his memberships on his Patreon these days. But few of his fans and I have been waiting for too long. And George, if you watch this, I am so sorry that I was being so harsh, but I was just saying, I just want to make things right with you and your channel. And we're so sorry we've been so impatient. And thankfully, we still got Bambi in the opening logos, the intro, and the end credits from the show, especially the posters from his community. And we were very glad that George has still used Bambi and his friends few of these. And the best way, Bambi deserves another chance to be in the spotlight. And there's one more thing, this is my new fanmade one based on my old one, for George's visit community from his phone and our phones. So the only thing George is going to make this chase based on my posters as a short test before he make the final version of it. And this will be a tribute to not only Broadcroft but Doug Lennox and Pierre Fauda. And George, I can let you and your fans to give you whatever you want if you make this parody. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. So let me know in the comments down below. And remember to check out his pages on his Patreon if you are George's fans and subscribe to him in this channel. And vote Bambi to become his new memberships. And remember to type in hashtag George Garza Production and hashtag Justice for Bambi. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.